Welcome to the Visualize Meditations podcast, hosted by your friend Sasha Patil, a Chopra certified meditation teacher. The first step to creating the life of your dreams is to create a clear and compelling vision for what you want for the future. I'll be guiding you on visualization meditation so you can get clear on your deepest desires. Let's get started so you can turn your vision into a reality.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy Wednesday. Hi.
So,
Welcome to the pod.
thank you.
How are
Thank
you?
you for having me.
This is, even though we sit here every fucking day, this is, the only thing that's different is that the fucking camera's here. Oh, how are you?
Great, actually.
When did you wake up
Indeed.
today?
I woke up at 11:30
Okay.
and then I spent 2 hours scrolling because I thought I should go for a shower. And then I was like, okay, in five.
Yeah.
And then finally at like around 1, I went for a shower. Then I've been nauseous since.
Just chilling.
Just chilling.
I love it.
Because I'm on vacation. I'm not unemployed.
That's true. You've been on vacation and it's been like a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many more weeks? We don't know how many more weeks you have.
About a month.
You have another month.
Roughly, yeah.
You're just, that's just the rest of the time I'm here, basically. You're just not going to work at all while I'm here. I'm just going to harass you every day.
You're more than welcome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, everybody, hi, this is Tejas. Okay, incredible. So, for context, how do we know each other?
Well, I moved in about 2 months before she moved in. And like, we just got to know each other like how we get to know everybody else, I guess. We just introduced ourselves.
Yeah.
And I don't actually remember the first day we met. Do you?
Yeah, I do. Because it was the first like full day I arrived. I arrived on like the 28th or 29th.
Okay.
And the next day I was like, okay, what's the best way to meet people? I was like, well, every day I'm going to try working from a different spot in the house.
Okay.
And then my first day I sat in the big kitchen.
Yeah.
And you like were cooking for a while before I said something or before like
Yeah.
we interacted. But you were chefing something up.
Yeah.
Also,
was
I
cooking
miss
some-
your slippers.
It's not cold anymore.
Oh, true.
So
It's super hot. Wait, what were you saying? You were cooking what?
I was cooking something. I don't remember what I was cooking, but I was cooking something and you were working in the corner over there.
Yeah.
And I think we were having a hot water problem that day.
We were. It's so sad because the new girl moved in and she experienced the same thing as we moved in, had a super deep conversation, and the hot water didn't work. But right now, I don't even mind the hot water not working because it's like I'm taking a cold shower anyway.
Me too.
It's just too
Just
hot.
cold showers.
Yeah. Especially AC. France doesn't believe in AC. What's up with that?
I don't know. Like 3 years, like I've never seen AC anywhere.
Yeah.
Like most places that I go to, except for when you are in shopping malls or like
Yeah.
some clothing store, they have like mediocre ACs.
Yeah.
But still, like, you don't really see ACs over here.
No. I have beef to pick, or I like bones to pick with France over two things. Number one, keeping the toilet in a separate room is so dumb. It's so dumb because then you have to pee and then you have to go wash your hands.
Exactly.
And then you have to go, and then I'm like, it makes no sense. That, and then also like the lack of AC. What's up with this? But also,
But this has, when I went back home, I wouldn't keep my fan on at night when I was sleeping. Like, I would feel cold.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, here
Like,
you have
completely
to,
done.
though.
Yeah, here you have to. But then I've become so adapted to not having air conditioners and like fan. There was no fan in my previous apartment.
Yeah.
So I had to buy one. And it's like you spend most of the year in cold weather that you don't even use a fan or anything except summers. So when I went back home, I was like, okay, I don't want any AC, I don't want any fan. And I was just fine.
Yeah. But
And
here we are now.
I did not want to be like that.
Here we are. We're just fucking hot and warm all the time
Yeah.
and cooling down with
Seriously.
gin. So what's your story?
Okay, let me start from the start.
Please start from the start.
Well, I finished my schooling back in India.
Yeah.
I was in my grade 12 when I decided, I was in grade 11 when I decided that I want to study gynecology. Like, I wanted to be a doctor, a
Yeah,
surgeon.
okay.
And then I did my research, and then I realized that it takes about 13 years to finish your specialization. And I was
Yeah.
like, no fucking way. Studying for 13 years, right? I was like, no way, dude. Books for 13 years, and those are like
Yeah.
this thick
It's no
books.
joke.
No,
It's like
it's not
13 years
funny.
of hard
It's
work too.
insane, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I dropped that option. And then I was like, okay, so since my dad is a civil engineer, his all throughout my school life, he was like, oh, you can never drop mathematics. You have to study math, and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
I never liked math, but I chose to study that anyway. And then in my grade 12, I decided that I was not going to do civil engineering at all. Like I knew it that this is definitely not something I want, and
Yeah.
I won't even be good at it.
Yeah.
So, and my dad was like, no, you have to study this and blah, blah, blah.
Oh
And
my
I
God,
was
it sounds like a
dude,
typical Indian parent.
yeah,
Yeah.
he is. And then I was like, dude, sometimes you can just accept that it is not for everyone. And when I know it in my bones that I'm gonna suck at it big time,
Yeah.
you don't have to just keep pressurizing me with that. And besides, even my sister is a civil engineer. So I was like, how many engineers do you want in one house? Come on, get with it.
You're either a doctor, a lawyer, an
Yeah.
engineer.
Okay. And I was like, okay, it was easy to trick him into believing that I wanted to be an architect because it's like close enough. It's not too different from civil engineering.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take classes for architecture.
Yeah.
And take some exams later. Like basically, I'm gonna prep for the exams. So he was like, okay, fine, architecture, great. He has a lot of architect friends anyway, so whatever. So he agreed to that, and then in 7 months, I told him that I want to pursue designing because I don't want to do architecture.
What kind of design?
Product design.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I told him that's what I want to do, and then it took a while to convince him again. But then he was like, "Okay, fine, it's not too different from architecture and stuff like
You
that."
just slowly get further and further away from being a doctor.
Exactly. And then at that point, I did not know what I was good at,
Yeah.
but I knew exactly what I did not want to do. Like I knew that these things are not for me. I'm not gonna be doing this stuff on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Come on. So I finally applied to a design school. I
Okay.
got into 3 of them. I chose to go to one of them, which is in Pune. It's in Maharashtra, in the state of Maharashtra. So I was doing my studies over there. I finished at the end of 3rd year, COVID happened. So it was like last 1 year was from home for everyone. And so during my graduation project, so we had this one course. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go a little back.
Yeah.
So we had this course which was called Open Elective, where it was just a 2-week course. So you were supposed to select something which is not exactly related to your field, something out of the box, something to just freshen up the mind.
Yeah.
It was basically a really time pass kind of a thing for most of us. So I was like, okay, fine. There were a lot of options like wine tasting, food, stitching, crocheting, stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to pottery because I saw a few students do that, a few of my seniors. I was like, okay, I've never tried this, and anyway, it's a 2-week course and it's not even graded. So I was like, okay, fine, let's just do this. I took the pottery classes for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to make 5 basic articles. At the end of the 2nd week, we were supposed to have 5 of them. It was literally just like plates, like discs, circular discs, not even shaped plates, okay? Just circular discs and cylinders.
Okay.
That's all. Like in total, 5.
Yeah.
And I had 1 at the end of 2 weeks, okay? Just 1. But I enjoyed the whole process so much. I was like, I really want to learn this.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing finished. And then after that, the lockdown happened. Okay. So during the lockdown, I was like, okay, maybe I should do my graduation project in pottery.
Okay.
Right. So because I enjoyed it so much, so I didn't give a fuck that. Am I supposed to?
Yeah, you can swear. Yeah. It's my podcast. Can you imagine if I couldn't swear on my own podcast?
I cannot imagine.
You know how I speak. Like, I
Thank
would
you.
fully implode.
Yeah.
I feel like I punctuate every sentence with fuck and yo.
Yeah. And you cannot express yourself better if you don't say that.
I probably could be more eloquent, but when I'm
But
hanging
do
out at
you?
the when I'm hanging out at the house, like why?
Yeah. Well, who cares?
Seriously, who cares?
So, where were we?
Pottery, your
Yeah.
final.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, before applying to pottery studios, I should probably make some portfolios, something which is not just one article, right? Like,
This is the one thing I've made.
can you please take me? So I took a pottery class very close to my house,
Yeah.
so back in India, and it was like 11 sessions, and she taught me so well.
Yeah.
Like by the end of 8th session, I was able to do everything.
Yeah.
Like everything in shape, like the kind of ceramic where we have in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like that, I was able to do.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I was like, great. I did a photo shoot and I made my portfolio. I sent my applications to different studios in India. I got in a lot of studios in the north and in the south. But the best one was in Goa, which is the smallest coastal state in India. It has had like Portuguese influence. They were ruling for 200 years, like
Yeah.
how English were in all over India. So that's where I chose to go. And because the pottery artist who I wanted to intern with was a pottery teacher in New York for 8 years. And then she's from Bombay, but she was based in Goa back then.
Okay.
She shut her studio now because of whatever reasons. So that's where I wanted to go. I got in there. I visited her. It was like in the middle of a forest on a hill.
Yeah.
It was very pleasant, very pleasant. Like
Okay.
in rainy days, I would spend all night working over there because I also met with an accident and I have to push my deadline
Yeah.
for the graduation project. This is where I got the stitches. Like,
What
I feel like
happened?
I was going home on a bike. It was rainy and the dog he was chasing something, okay?
Yeah.
And I saw the dog from the other end of the street. He came running, and by the time I could even process that, like, I thought it would wait in the middle of the street, but it did not, and it dashed into the front wheel. And this happened right outside a hospital. What are the chances? I walked in,
They'd be like,
bloody chin.
I'm bleeding. Did anyone see that? Okay.
I was lucky there was no car behind me.
Yeah, that's very lucky.
Well, yeah, I would spend all night at the studio, and the whole area, like, it was in the middle of a forest. So
Yeah.
when it would rain, there would be electricity cut off and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it was like a 200-year-old Goan villa, and
Yeah.
they turned it into a pottery studio.
Okay.
And I used to sit in the patio, which was it was surrounded with lots of trees.
Yeah.
So this one time I remember, this is a core memory I made over there.
Okay.
So it was raining and it stopped raining for a while and there was no electricity. So I was like using my flashlight and working. And suddenly I realized like there's like a firefly around.
Okay.
It was just like going around.
Yeah.
And then I turned off my flashlight to have a clear view of it. And then I realized all the trees around me were loaded with fireflies and it was just like twinkling like Eiffel Tower at night. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful.
And how'd you go from that to chefing?
Yeah. So during my research, so I was working on Portuguese influence on Goan culture and food. And during my research, I was in a very close contact with different chefs throughout Goa,
Yeah.
Portuguese and Goan chefs. And there was this guy I met. His wife was Goan, but he was Portuguese. And he's had his restaurant over there for years, like since the Portuguese were there. So he also gave me his cookbook over there. So like he allowed me in his kitchen and he cooked some recipes for me of his own.
Yeah.
And like I was able to see everything. And I did this like a couple of times during my research. And that's when I realized that maybe this is something that I want to do because I saw how a restaurant kitchen works.
Yeah.
Even though I don't want to be working in a restaurant kitchen my whole life,
Yeah.
but it really interested me. And I've always been into cooking and baking since I was a kid. It's always different when you're cooking with your mom at home. You can just do whatever the fuck you want. And it's different in a professional kitchen. But then I don't know how to describe this, but I always knew it. Like, I had this feeling of surety
Yeah.
that I know I can do this.
Yeah.
I can put this into words, but like when you see something that you're very passionate about,
Yeah.
you're not gonna go wrong
Yeah.
with this. It's like cooking potatoes. Like you could cook them anyhow, it's gonna be the best.
As
like
long as
it's
it's
not
not
gonna go
raw,
wrong.
you're fine.
Exactly.
So you
That's-
just knew that you.
yeah, I just knew it. Like I was gonna be able to do it,
Yeah.
and then I told my dad. Like, it was a whole
You
other
just get
thing.
further and further away from being a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad was like, you need to stop doing this to me. Like, for how long is this go on? He was dead serious about it.
Okay.
He was like, how long are you gonna just keep switching careers? And you need to stick to one thing. And I was like, this is the last time, Dad, please.
Okay.
And then it took around 25 days. There was so much drama because I was old enough to take sensible decisions, right? And
Yeah.
my dad was like, what the fuck is going on with you? Like,
You're like, what are you
stop
doing?
with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know this is exactly what I want to do. And then I made a whole big sheet of brainstorming, and I did research of different culinary schools and what they teach, what all is there in their curriculum, and why is it that I want to do, and why is it important
Yeah.
for me to do that. And then finally he realized that there's no point in pressurizing me at the end of it. If I'm not going to be happy doing what I do, there's no point in like just pushing me to do something that I don't want to do, right? Like
Yeah.
at the end of it, it's about being happy.
Yeah.
So he realized that, and he was like, okay, fine. Now that you're switching careers for the last time,
For the
Might
last
as-
time.
might as well do it from the best. I was like, okay. So he's choose a school and we enroll you over there.
Okay.
I was like, okay. And then I did a little bit more of research, and then I was like, okay, French food it is, I guess. And then I decided to go to Le Cordon Bleu,
Yeah.
which is apparently, it's like the
It's like the
Harvard
top-
of
yeah.
culinary schools. Yeah. So first I decided I'll go to Canada.
Okay.
But then they didn't have a session that was going to start anytime soon.
Mm.
When I wanted to go, they didn't have any course starting.
Okay.
Also, I think that was also because of COVID.
Okay.
Then I decided I'll go to Mexico.
Okay.
Mexico and then Brazil. They have 2 schools over there. And then my travel agent was like,
No.
they don't have the best. The student life is not the best over there.
Okay.
So that's maybe you don't want to go there. It's not really safe either.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, I looked for Australia,
Yeah.
but then they didn't have seats available. Everything was full.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, London. And then I realized, so Indians need to take IELTS to go to London.
Okay.
It's, do you know IELTS? Like, it's like an English language exam
Okay.
just to pass
Yes.
the visa process. So, but for UK, it's IELTS UKVI. That's how it goes.
Okay.
It's the same exam, but it needs to have UKVI written in front of it.
Okay.
And it's literally the same
It's the same
questions,
shit.
everything. But if you don't have UKVI written in front of your results, you cannot go to the UK. It's like that.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So I did not take that. And then I was like, okay, then France it is. And then later I realized that France is even a better option than most of them.
Right.
That's how I ended up in Paris.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so you went to school, and then after that you've been in professional kitchens.
Yes.
Okay.
After 1 year of working on my visa to make myself a legal immigrant, I
Yeah.
got into the professional kitchens.
Got it. Okay.
I got a lot of job opportunities, to be honest, but like I took trials and everything, and they were ready to hire me immediately. That
Yeah.
was the problem because
Yeah.
I didn't have papers, so I couldn't start immediately. So I had to wait for a year to get the papers.
Oh my god.
Because I was getting amazing opportunities. There was this hotel. It's at Champs-Élysées. It's called Maison de Lano.
Okay.
It's Spanish-French fusion restaurant, and they have 3 kitchens
Yeah.
in the hotel, and 1 kitchen is only for payas. There's like huge pots over there, and they make only payas over there. Insane.
Oh my god.
Like I really wanted to work there, and he was like, "Can you start tomorrow?" I was like, "I cannot."
No.
So
Okay.
that was a bummer, but I was like, "Never mind, something will come around."
Yeah.
And then I got an appointment with the prefecture, and during that month, I saw this advertisement on Pol Emploi about a Lebanese restaurant. So I was like, okay. And they mentioned in the requirements that the language required was English.
Oh, perfect.
I was like, okay, great.
Yeah.
Let's just send an application. I sent my application. I was waiting for 6 days. They did not respond at all. Then I just walked into the restaurant with my CV. I was like, the owner was there. The chef wasn't there. I went there during the break. So yeah, I handed my CV over to them. And then she was like, okay, the chef will call you. And then she calls me immediately in the same evening. She calls me and she says, can you come for a trial tomorrow? I was like, yeah, sure. She was like, can you come at 9 in the morning? And I wanted to sleep. I was like really drunk that night. I was like, okay, fine. I was this close to giving up. But I was like, I'm not finding anything. I was like, okay, I'll just wait for my papers to come, just go for my appointment and stuff. And then I got really drunk that night with my friends. And then I was like, fuck, I don't want to wake up in the morning. I was like, can I come for the dinner, for the trial? She was like, no, well, I'm not going to be there for dinner and stuff. I was like, okay, fine, I'll come in the morning. I went there, I took my trial. I had 2 trials like that at the same restaurant. And then she was like, we can just start from tomorrow. I was like, I don't have my papers yet. I'm getting them in 2 weeks. She was like, it's not a problem. We can just start. You can get your papers. It's so in 2 weeks, so it's not too far away. So it's not going to be a problem. I was like, great. And then I spent a year and a half working over there. And I recently quit my job because a year and a half, it was too long. And I got my first experience in the restaurant. So it's like up there in my CV now.
Okay, perfect.
Like,
So this was
finally,
like
I
the
don't have to
first.
lie about my experiences anymore.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Shit. What are. That's wild. What are 3 words you'd use to describe yourself?
Oh, Jesus. I don't know. I am definitely lazy. I don't know if it comes under the category of ADHD. Like most of the times, I just tell myself I do not have ADHD.
Okay.
Because when I see people that I work with, I hope they don't end up watching this. But I'm like, now that is ADHD.
Right.
Like just procrastinating stuff. Well, if I have something planned, like for example, if I have to go see a friend or if I have a shift starting in 2 hours, I'll just get the fuck out of my bed and push myself to get stuff done. But when I have a long day ahead and I don't have anything planned, I have nowhere to go. Why the fuck would I?
And sometimes scroll. Like shower in 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 hours at a time.
So that is the reason I tell myself it is maybe not ADHD.
It's lazy.
It's lazy.
Okay,
Yeah.
lazy.
Lazy. You said just words, right? Yeah. I think I'm quite empathetic
Empathetic, yeah.
towards people.
Yeah.
Anyone and everyone.
Except for the people who make noise out here, which is so funny. It's my every time that people make noise out in the courtyard, Tejas is, what are these people doing? Do they not have lives? Are they not in school? But the funniest thing is that this house is basically a frat house. So we are out here every night until 2,
just like
3 o'clock in the morning.
These
Just
are
like
our
this.
seats.
These
This
are our
is
seats.
exactly where we.
This is the sacred smoke circle, and everyone is out here. It's like a circle of chairs, and everyone is out here all day, all
the
night.
time.
There's
day, all
always
day.
someone out here.
As you can hear.
Hopefully not, but
Okay.
yeah.
Well, you cannot blame me for those noises because, dude, like at 8 in the morning, there's always one lady over here on that side, this wing. She says, bonjour to this one guy, and he's like, bonjour. She goes, and I'm like, dude, if it's closed every single day, why do you go there at 8 in the morning every single day? And she's telling you it's closed.
It's so funny.
Like, I've been listening to this since the day I arrived. At least like 3 to 4 days a week, I hear this. And then there's 2 different kinds of birds.
Okay.
Somebody said it's seagulls and crows, something like that. Those motherfuckers need to, like,
We need to chill out.
they need to chill the fuck out.
Oh my God.
Dude, no.
Okay.
That is not acceptable.
Not cool. What are you doing?
It's like he's getting butchered or something in the middle of sky.
Oh, what is that?
It's
Okay, so it's lazy, empathetic, and
third word. No. You tell me, what do you think? Give one about me.
Well, the things that come to mind are like creative with your, I guess creative in some ways, but then I also find just with the story you told me about wanting to just switch careers like a million times, and it makes me think you're open-minded or like open-minded or creative are the words I would use. Yeah. Or do you think those are
Definitely.
accurate?
Well, yes. I would also say that, I don't know if you have a word for this, but someone who won't settle for something that they don't like to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never do something that I do not like. For example, learning French language. It's not something I don't like.
Yeah.
It's just something I find really difficult for myself as an individual. It's not something I don't want to do. I really want to learn the language, but I know if I push myself, if I force myself to sit and learn, I'm not going to be able to learn it that way.
Yeah.
It just has to come from within, like a desperate urge to learn the language. If I'm having like 3 Spanish people and 2 Lebanese people and 2 French people working with me who all speak English to me, there's no way, like, there's not a part of me that's gonna go and put efforts to learn every single day.
Well, we're here around the house and like people, or does everyone just speak English to you because they know that you don't
Go
try?
ahead. But it's not like I don't want to be rude or inconsiderate in those terms. It's just that as of now, I do not feel that I need to push myself
Yeah.
to learn that. I'm just not gonna do it until and unless I feel like I really want to do it. That's just how I am.
Listen,
And
that's fair.
if I do it, I know I'm not gonna be able to learn shit out of it. I'm not gonna be able to learn. It's just not gonna go in my head. That's just how
I'm
my
just shocked
brain
you've been here for
works.
a couple, like a while, and like even in school were the classes in English or?
Classes were in French, and we would have live translators who would translate every single sentence in English.
Whoa.
So, for example, there's a chef giving a demo lecture. There's 30 students sitting in front of him. All the chefs understood English, by the way, just so you know. They understood perfect English.
Yeah.
They spoke perfect English. So he's giving a demo, he's talking, and then the translator, the lady, is like explaining everything in English. Then I have a question, right? I ask the question in English. The translator would translate the question in French. Even though he spoke and understood perfect French, she would translate in French. He would answer in French. She would translate the answer to me in English. That's how it went
Wow.
for 9 months. And every single chef would do that.
That's
Yep.
says something. That says something. I'm not gonna say what, but it says something. It's like very cultural almost, but
Yeah.
if you don't try, they don't try either.
And they're like they're understanding the question, but after the student is done asking, they'll look at the translator and they'll wait for them to translate,
Yeah.
finish the whole thing, and then they'll answer.
Okay.
It was, yeah,
Yeah.
it was weird.
What's the best piece and the worst piece of advice you've ever received?
No, I'm just thinking. Worst piece of advice in terms of work, I'll tell you.
Okay.
My sous chef, she is someone who's been in the industry for 7 years.
Yeah.
And she's lying is the best way you can survive in the kitchen. Lie about everything. And she literally lies with confidence. Like, I know exactly when she's lying because I've been with her for a year and a half.
Yeah.
But when clients are talking to her and like when they're asking her about stuff, about food and stuff, even though she doesn't know anything about it, she'll just blabber shit. And okay, sometimes you can get away with stuff like that, but you
Yeah.
don't know if the client is going to be another chef out there and they're just probably asking you to see
Yeah. Like you
if
don't know.
you are what you are.
Yeah.
You never know who the client is, and she just lies her way through anything and everything. And even to the chef, she's always, and she has like really not very, but like low standards of working compared to the amount of time she has spent doing the same thing for 7 years. Come on, you should be having the highest standards over there.
Yeah.
It's like I never looked up to her. I would never look forward to learning anything from her. And because I knew every time she would just lie about anything.
Yeah.
She doesn't know shit. And she's just like, come on, dude, but also, like, when I think about it, it's like she's been working 7 years and she's still a sous chef. She should have been a chef somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you lie, I could never lie to my chef. Like, she could tell, if I lied, she could tell from my face that
Yeah.
I'm not telling her
Yeah.
the truth. So, and she is the chef. She's not someone who would whack your ass or something like that. You just be honest to her and she's not going to say anything. She'll just ask you to fix it and she'll be like, don't do this again, whatever.
Yeah.
She's not your mom or someone. She's not gonna beat the shit out of you. And she wouldn't even scream at you. She never screamed at me
Yeah.
or anybody else. Okay, it's different when there's pressure during the dinner service or whatever. Like, she has to push you, pressure you. It's different. It's not personal. But when you are prepping before service, like, she never screamed at me. Never, ever. She was always very polite, very nice. Whenever things went down, she would like personally come and help me out, even when she wasn't supposed to. And this bitch, sous chef, she would be like, imagine you are my chef, you are helping me out with stuff
Yeah.
which the sous chef should be doing, but she's out there smoking cigarettes for 30 minutes and scrolling TikTok.
The fuck?
Like, come on,
What are you
like, are you
doing?
just here for your papers or what? Like,
Yeah. So that's the worst piece.
worst piece of advice
And the
in the
best?
kitchen: do not lie.
And
Never.
the-
I think this is what my mom always tells me, is that, and it really humbles me every time I feel not on the ground. It brings me back to the ground. And so she always tells me that you are not the smartest person in the room. Never
Mhm.
gonna be the smartest person in the room. There's always gonna be someone who is better than you, even though you don't know. Like, maybe even they don't know, but
Yeah.
there's always some person out there who's way better than you.
Yeah.
Also something this is something I heard on somebody's interview. Not like nobody gave it to me, but it stuck to me since a really long time. It's, if you want to do something and you're not sure about it, do it anyway. Do it scared, because if you don't seize the opportunity, there's 10 other people who want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to do it. Might as well be you.
Yeah.
So you don't regret it. Okay, fine. Maybe you'll fail, or maybe you won't. Well and good if you don't. But if you fail, at least you won't regret that.
Right.
Oh, maybe I should have given it a shot.
Right.
When it's gone, and there's no point in regretting. So seize the opportunity.
Seize the opportunity. It's a good one. That's a good one. These are good words to live by. Don't fucking lie.
Yeah.
Seize every
That's-
opportunity.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
At least in kitchens, don't ever lie.
Yeah,
Don't
never.
ever. Just do things the
Just-
right way.
Yeah.
Anybody working in the kitchen, if you're watching, just do things the right way. If you mess up, just stand by your faults.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong about admitting your mistakes. Like, that's how you grow. Like,
I think so.
if you don't accept what you have fucked in the kitchen, you are not gonna have an opportunity to understand how to fix it. You're not gonna learn.
Yeah.
Probably you're just gonna tell somebody else that you have to lie, which I was told by my sous chef that
Yeah.
you have to start lying to me and the chef. What the fuck? And then I went and I told on her.
Good.
I did not. I wanted to, but I did not.
What the biggest lesson you've learned in the last year?
I've always heard people say this. I've always have people tell that to me. But this is like throughout the last year, I just experienced, and I realized it myself that it is true that you should never trust, as in blindly. You should always trust your eyes and your ears. If somebody's telling you anything about somebody else, a third person, you shouldn't believe them until and unless you actually witness it or
Yeah.
hear it yourself.
Yeah.
Never from somebody else. It's gonna make a whole different perspective in your head, which is so far from reality.
Yeah.
90% of the time, it's not even true. So yeah, and it really fucks up your relationships with people if you like just take things from somebody else and believe them, and then it impacts your actions if you let them. So yeah, that's what I've learned in the
Okay.
past 1 year.
Okay. So if someone tells you something, like, let's just say, for example, like we're in this house with 20 people, and so it's like, oh, that person is blah, blah, blah. I shouldn't believe them until I interact with them
Actually,
myself and see what my own opinion is
yeah,
of them. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's completely fair.
Even if it is true, like it's better. You know how they say that if you hear something bad about someone, don't believe it. But if you hear something good about someone, even if it is not true, just believe it.
It's true. I think it's a good way to live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
Less
there...
negativity.
Yeah, fuck that negativity shit. Fuck that shit. Is there a childhood dream that like still lives within you?
Yes. So I have, since I was a kid, I have always wanted to be on a hot air balloon, and just a really long hot air balloon ride
Yeah.
over Brazilian highlands.
Yeah.
That's what my dream has been, like watching all the cows.
Specifically like hot air balloon in Brazil or hot air balloon
Yeah.
anywhere?
Yeah, no, hot air balloon in Brazil.
In Brazil
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah.
Okay.
Going through the highlands, over the highlands.
Okay. It's gonna happen.
What else? Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. And then as I grew up, it changed into, I still want the whole hot air balloon thing, but
Yeah.
I want to be proposed on the balloon. Okay, it's a bit
No, but it's so good.
cheesy, but yeah. Well,
Excuse me, Mr. Future Tejas. Mr. Hello.
please tell me you're not gonna put this up there.
No, I'm not. It's public though, because I'm literally talking to Mike. But I'll let whoever your future partner know to take you to
Please,
Brazil.
please. And then I'm
And
gonna
propose on
pretend
a-
like, oh, I never knew this was gonna happen.
Be like, my nails aren't done, excuse me. So funny. Okay.
Jesus.
Okay, wait, so are you 27?
7.
You're 27. Okay. So this, I feel like, I don't think I've asked this question to anyone actually my age. So the two questions are typically like, if you could go forward or backward to your 27-year-old self, what advice would you give them at your 27?
What advice?
What advice would you give your 27-year-old self? But the other question is, if future you were to come back to this moment, what advice would you give yourself? But they're the same because it's 27.
Okay.
So what advice would you give yourself / your 27-year-old self / a 27-year-old?
If I were to go, not 27, because I was probably like a newborn, but if I were to go like, what,
What advice would
20
you give
years back?
No, like in the future, if you were to come back and give yourself advice right now,
Yeah.
or advice to another 27-year-old. I'm 27 too.
Okay.
So the whole premise of the question is like, what advice would you give someone like my age, but we're the same age?
Okay, but I'll give this advice to myself.
Sure.
If I were to come back to this age,
Yeah.
I would say that just have fun and don't waste time on boys. That's for me.
That's for you?
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't waste time on boys either.
Mm.
It's so difficult when they're so juicy sometimes.
Yeah. Don't even get me started with that. Like, just have fun. Just go with the flow. Don't worry too much. You're never gonna get this time back. So
Yeah. Don't
do
stress.
not waste time on boys.
Do not waste time on boys. It's a good one, honestly.
Have fun with them, but don't stress out over
Don't-
them
Yeah. Don't waste your time on boys.
because they don't. So you shouldn't either.
That's damn straight. That's damn straight. Yeah. They don't waste time worrying about these girls. No,
Don't.
they don't. Or other boys.
Yeah, there was this guy I met once.
Okay.
He's straight. So there was this girl who was really into him, and he was like leading her on. He also seemed to like her a lot,
Yeah.
but he just did not want to be with one. And I was like, why? She's gorgeous. She's like beauty with brains, and she's out of your league. Like, come on, you're
Yeah.
having such a beautiful woman with you, and you're just being a jerk. And he was like, before you stick to one girl. It's trying different pairs of denims.
Yeah.
You go to a shop, you don't just buy one denim when you look at it on the first go. You try different pairs of denims, and then you like choose one that fits you the best.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, these are not denims you're buying, okay?
But like, I get it though.
Yeah, well,
Because I don't know, for me, like picking clothing it is like falling in love. Like when I try on a bunch, let's say pairs of jeans, right? If I try on a bunch of different pairs of jeans, I know when I put that pair of jeans on, I know in a second. Like if that thing is the love of my life or not. That's how I approach buying clothing anyways. Like when I try something on and I'm like, it's like falling in love. It's like love at first sight. So I could see the same thing. And it's true for men too. Women and men, they should like really not settle. Try shit out. See what they like. See what they don't like.
do that, but at least don't lead people on. Just
Yeah.
be clear about what
you
you're
want.
looking for. It's totally fine. Like, just tell her that you're looking for casual stuff. If she wants to stay, she'll stay. If not, she'll go away. You'll find another denim, as you said, you like to. Don't lead people on like that. Like, he wasn't even telling her that what he was into, and he was just like doing everything she wanted to, and like she wasn't aware about what he was looking for. And I was like, dude, just communicate.
Yeah, just say what
just
your
say it,
intentions
yeah.
are. Yeah.
And a lot of girls are okay with it. They don't necessarily stick to you. If you don't want stuff, they'll be like, okay, fine, who cares?
Like, I have better options
Yeah,
out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't waste
Why
time
waste
on
my-
boys.
Don't waste time.
Don't waste time on boys. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Is there something that you used to desire that is now like a normal part of your life? I don't know. Something I try to think myself, because something I used to desire as like a normal part of my life would be the digital nomading. Like the travel full time was something that I used to desire that is like now super normal in my life. Like community. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Like having my own business. There's a lot that I like used to, even like my wardrobe, like my clothing. Like I remember being in school and like being like, 'cause fashion's always been very important to me. And when I was a kid, and not even a kid, but like early university, I just felt so insecure about, like, I went to a fashion design school, and all these kids are like head to toe in designer, and they just look so cool. And I felt so horrible about myself in the very beginning of university. And then after working in fashion, like really building a really gorgeous wardrobe after working in the industry, like it's now like having a really gorgeous wardrobe is something that I love is like now so normal for me, even though like something I used to want so badly, like stuff like that. Yeah. It's like normal. Like I don't even think about it anymore.
Well, I remember this one time when I was a really little kid. Like, I was just bound to do everything that my mom would want me to throughout the day, right?
Yeah.
Go to school, come back, do your homework, then you go play for a while, and then you have to be back at this hour, and then you have to finish your dinner, and then go to sleep, and the same thing the next day. And then I used to desire that one day I just want to live by myself. I want to be able to live by myself. Step out, wake up whenever the fuck you want, step out in the middle of the afternoon, get drunk, come back, cook some food, take your own happy time, eat, just chill around, and then go to sleep, and like just
Do it all
not
over
be
again.
bothered by someone wanting you to do stuff in certain way. Like, I get it, like you need to really have kids do
Like
their
structure,
thing.
yeah.
Like without that, they're not gonna be in place at all. But I really felt the need for this,
Yeah.
like this thing that I have right now back in the day. And now I have it. It's like a normal part of my life. Like I step out in the middle of the sun, I come back, I whine about how hot it is outside, and then I cool down, I eat some cucumber, and then I just chill around in the house, meet random people, bore them with my questions. What are you up to? And what are your plans for today? And they're like, what are your plans? I'm like, I have no plans. Like, nothing. Why do you think I'm here? So, yeah, that's a normal part of my day.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Chilling, yeah.
I love
Wait,
that every day. I'm like, what are you up to today, Tejas? I'm just chilling.
Chilling. Yeah. Well, this is not gonna last for too long.
So you enjoy it.
Yeah, that's why I'm
And it's not advice you gave yourself and gave us.
Yeah.
Just enjoy and don't waste time on boys.
Yeah, don't waste time on
Only
boys.
eat the green cucumbers.
Yes, the long one. They never disappoint you. And they never dehydrate you.
Oh my god. Thanks for coming on my pod.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
It was so much fun. Do you want a refill?
Yes.
And a
I
face mask?
definitely- Oh, yes.
Let's do it.
Bye,
Bye, y'all.
Ciao, ciao.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Visualize Meditations podcast. Please follow, subscribe, leave a review, all of the good things. If you want to connect more, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Living Your Vision. So what are you waiting for? Get out there, create the life of your dreams, and we will see you next week.